GoneDrivin. For this week's video, I've got this beautiful 2020 Audi R8 DECENNIUM. I'll be reviewing the exterior and the interior features of it, then going for a quick drive. If you like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more content and see me do more of these cars, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Besides that, I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. The R8 was first debuted back in 2006, and since then it has had a full redesign back in 2015, and I would say that this current model of the R8 is just absolutely beautiful, and Audi did not miss the mark on it. The platform of the R8 is actually based on the Lamborghini Huracan. In fact, Audi and Lamborghini are from the same family, which is why there's so many elements that are similar to each other. But with the R8, you get a thrill of a ride and still have it in a subtle way where you don't attract as much attention as you do in a Lamborghini. R8 DECENNIUM is powered by a naturally aspirated V10 engine that produces 620 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque, and thanks to the all-wheel drive Quattro system, power is distributed evenly to all four wheels, meaning that launching off the line will be no difficult task. And a fun fact, the R8 that I'm reviewing today is the DECENNIUM edition, which Audi launched for the 2020 model year R8s, celebrating 10 years of V10 engines in the R8. And DECENNIUM is Latin for decade, hence the name of the model. And specific to the DECENNIUM, you get a couple of different upgrades in terms of the appearance, you get a couple of badges, just to remind you that this car is limited edition. So starting off, you've got the wheels right over here, which are finished in a bronze color, again, exclusive to this, just the DECENNIUM. And then coming on to the back here, you've got the engine bay, which is also finished in a bronze finish. And last but not least, we've also got DECENNIUM badges right on the door sills here, again reminding you that you're entering the DECENNIUM. That's it for DECENNIUM. Now let's go check out the rest of the car. With the front of the R8, we've got this beautiful mesh grille here, partially exposed. You can see the radiator behind here, and also you see a blackout package. Again, this is exclusive to the DECENNIUM edition, supported by these taillights in the front, the LED taillights, and you've got this really stunning aggressive front bumper, really adding to the whole sportiness of the car. Inside of the car, we've got this nice big door panel right over here, some side skirts. Then we've got the door handle actually right underneath here. It's a very flush and nice way to put it. Very cool, I would say. We've got the V10 badges right over there, and you've got the carbon fiber panels right here. This one is actually fully aerodynamic and actually functional, whereas this one is just for show. And in the back of the R8, we've got this beautiful engine bay here that you can see. It's fully exposed with the glass here on top. Then you've got this rear carbon spoiler, and then the main and the best part of the car, the rear diffuser with the oval exhaust, which, by the way, sound phenomenal thanks to the naturally aspirated V10 engine. Cool fun fact about the taillights is that they're sequential, but only part of them, and that's because of North American regulations that allow for only a specific surface area to be sequential. The rest of it has to be a full turning signal. So definitely a nice way of Audi to get around the regulations and still incorporate a very classical German thing. And sitting in the interior of the R8, the first thing you notice is that it's a very unique interior in the sense that there's no screen or any infotainment screen here for the passenger. That's because everything is controlled by this gauge cluster right over here. You've got your navigation, your music information, your tire temperature, all your car controls. Everything is controlled by this screen right over here. It's definitely a unique approach that Audi took, but I personally really like it, the fact that it's all driver oriented and driver focused and not so much for the passenger. And as for the steering wheel, we've got this beautiful flat bottom steering wheel wrapped in Alcantara leather, and you've got your controls right here on the steering wheel, sort of giving it that Formula 1-esque feeling. Starting off here with the start-stop engine button, you've got your exhaust button here, which I must say is a very nice placement by Audi, that you can access this before you can access the turning signal. And you've got your performance controls here, which gives you the option to go put your car into performance mode for wet conditions, dry conditions, and funnily enough, snow, which I personally don't understand why Audi R8 owner would take their car into the snow on a track day, but hey, Audi gives you the option to do that. And looking at the interior of the car, I'm sure you're thinking, where are the cup holders in this car? They're actually hidden right here in the back. You open them with this little hatch here, and it lifts up with the lid, and you can put your drinks in here, which, in my opinion, is a little annoying and a little weird, because if you have large drinks here, I think the lid might get in the way a little bit. It's not the best placement for the car, but again, this is a track and a sports car, not for you to have your coffees or your little drinks in the car. And in the center console area right over here, you can control the temperature of the car with these knobs right here. Again, very easy to use, very simple thing that Audi did, and I think a lot of cars can take a note from Audi for this, because it's, there's no gimmicks, there's nothing confusing. It's just simply a bunch of knobs here. And then you've got the heated seat controls here, you've got the chargers and your phone tray there. Your safety hazards, your parking sensors, your gear selector is right over here with the DECENNIUM badging right over here. I love that, Audi put that there just to remind you that you are in a DECENNIUM. And then this button right over here lets you control the screen in the middle. Again, a little bit of a weird placement really, because the passenger can't really control and see anything from their side, but nonetheless, it's a very, very nice and minimalistic interior. All right, so currently driving the 2020 Audi R8. Definitely one of the fastest cars I've had to drive in my life, so it's definitely a very unique experience, a very fast experience, I'll tell you that. We're gonna turn on the exhaust here and you're gonna hear it out a little bit. Let me tell you, it's definitely very, very quick. That's the 620 horsepower naturally aspirated V10 engine, obviously. It's, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's supported by that all-wheel drive system, so there's no lag of any sorts whatsoever. You know, in a rear-wheel drive car, obviously it's going to be a bit of a delay before you're off the line, but in this car, it's you floored and you're gone. So we're going to try it one more time here. And that exhaust, just so nice to hear. I mean, in today's day and age, it's so hard to find a car that sounds this good with the, you know, with the Teslas around us, and you know, all the electric cars and all those pumped-in audios. You don't really get to hear this anymore. And it handles really, really tightly, which is amazing. Again, because of the all-wheel drive system, it's very tight and very sharp as to where it wants to go. Even off a rolling start, if you're just in the if you're just in the highway a little bit, you know, and you just want to floor it and get some speed, it's there right away. It's definitely not a lag of any sort, so definitely an amazing, amazing car. Even the braking in this car, I mean, this car does have the optional carbon ceramic brakes, and they're very, very good. I mean, if you want to come down to a stop after going, you know, decently fast or going a little bit over the speed limit, it's definitely going to be able to slow you down very easily. And I mean, in terms of the overall driving experience here, again, the Alcantara steering wheel, as I mentioned earlier, very nice to hold on to. It's very comfortable, although I am a little worried about how it will be, you know, in a couple of years down the road when it might start wearing out a little bit more. But definitely right now, as it is, you know, the car is very brand new. It's very, very nice to hold on to. When you're sitting at the stoplight, you know, you can't really hear the exhaust much. I mean, right now the exhaust valves are open, but if you turn them off, it's definitely very quiet, very manageable, and you know, it's not annoying of any sorts. Or you know, some people say that there's cars that are too loud on the road and you know, you can't even hear each other, but this one, it's perfectly fine. Right now the exhaust valves are closed, and look at it, I mean, or hear it, it's definitely very quiet, very manageable. But when you want that noise, it's there for you. As for the gauge cluster, you've got your speed in the middle here, then you've got your navigation on the side, and you've got your power and other car information. So it's definitely very modifiable. You can change it around as to whatever you want to see. But again, I love how it's all just focused here. The passenger doesn't have to see anything really, and that's the beauty of this car. And those backfires, those burbles, again, as I mentioned earlier, they're not going to make too many cars of this sound or of this symphony really. So if you can, and if you're able to, make sure you're able to get your hands on this car, because again, you're not going to hear a car sound like this for a very, very long time. So we're doing a rolling start right now again, just to hear the engine again and in the exhaust purr a little bit. Those backfires, just absolutely, they sound phenomenal. Here are my final thoughts on the Audi R8. If you're in the market for a decently subtle car, it doesn't attract as much attention, but you still have a very, very thrilling ride, a very fast ride, this is a car to go for. I mean, Audi definitely made this car for a very specific niche of a market. It's for people who, again, just wanna have like a daily supercar and not get as much attention or get as many people turning. But with that engine, let me tell you, lots of people will be breaking their necks and looking back at you. And with that, my video on the 2020 Audi R8 DECENNIUM comes to a conclusion. If you like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. If you like something specific about the video, make sure you leave it in the comments below as well. And if you want to see more content and more supercars like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Besides that, I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video.